Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Bob Gainey in the room. Both of us were disgusted last night. This is a review of the Habs going into Boston. Okay, very quickly, please first hit the like, subscribe down below. Thank you, Hice Maniacs, and tell your friends and family. Let's get the community bigger. Okay, I'm going to start with stats. 44-22 shots in favor of Boston. Okay, uh, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to get into too many of the fine details. Okay, we're going to go to the scoring page. Okay, first period, 7-11. Charlie McAvoy, assisted by Brad Marchand, David Pastrnak. Power play. Ooh, we're so smart. Penalties. Okay, 19-20 of the first period. Trent Frederick, assisted by Brendan Carlo, assisted by Charlie Coyle. And Frederick had a great night for Boston. Second period, so you got the 2-0 lead, first period. Second period, Pavel Zacha, who I commend for replacing uh, Bergeron and Krejci. He's doing a fine job. I don't know how Boston does it. Anyway, 5:18 in the second period, he scores, assisted by Hampus and Lindholm and David, or Hampus Lindholm, assisted by David Pastrnak. We see Pasternak's name coming up a lot here. So 3-0. 13:04. Finally, Montreal shows life. Life. Yuri Slafkovsky. And this is the bread and butter that this kid's going to have to start watching because this was a perfect goal, assisted by Suzuki. Newhook, what a pass out in front. But the key to this was Slafkovsky moved his feet, seen that when he was covered, he got away from the coverage, seen the opening. And as soon as that pass came out from Suzuki, he wired it. And it was only a little space. And this kid's got a shot. So they got to give him tape this and make him watch this continually because this is how this kid's going to have to score. He's got a shot because Caulfield tried the same thing and couldn't burn it by Swayman. So we got 3-1 at that point. Then we get another goal by Mr. Frederick, 15:30, it's by Charlie Coyle and Jake Dubrovsk. So you got a 3-1 lead going into the third period. 5:39, Jan Van Riemsdyk, assisted by Brad Marchand and Pastrnak on the power play. So now you got a 4-1 lead, or 5-1. Sorry, yeah, I think it was a 4-1 yeah, after the second period. Became 5-1 with that goal. Jonathan Kasevich at 15:29 scores, assisted by Christian Dvorak and Slafkovsky, who made a beautiful pass up. This kid he wasn't perfect, and he had moments that he drove me nuts, but he was probably one of the brighter spots in the game. Beautiful pass up to Dvorak. Dvorak drops it in front of the net, and Jasevich crashes the front, and he makes sure that's going home just to show some respectability. And so he should have, because he took a few bad penalties in this game, which showing in undisciplinedness. And Montreal's got to get out of that because we don't have a penalty kill that way. Stats: shots on goal, 44-22. Boston hits, 19-18 in favor of Montreal, which I love to know who takes down these numbers. And face-offs, 30-30. 0 for 2 for Montreal in the power play, our wonderful power play. And 2 for 5 for Boston. Penalty minutes, again, we're leading in that department all the time, 12-6 for Montreal. Giveaways, 5-6. We couldn't capitalize on that, though. And 7 takeaways, we couldn't capitalize that compared to Boston's. 12 shots blocked apiece. This was a game very simple. Boston came to play. They went out for a skate. Montreal was nowhere to be seen. Joke, joke, joke. The lack of honor for the jersey. The lack of honor. Boston had a night of honoring their 1970 and 1972 teams, and they honored it well. Something Montreal couldn't do when we tried that about 10 or 15 years ago. We looked like a joke trying to do it. Boston showed you how it's done because they got Cam Neely, and ever since that man's been hired to run that team, they keep coming up with these miracles because they took a page out of the Habs notebook of the way the Habs used to be run, and that's why they're a winning organization. And until Cam Neely is the man that leaves there, you're going to see the Bruins up in that category for a long time because he's a winner. He's always been a winner. He knew to take a page out of Montreal's book. So, with that being said, Josh Anderson, what the heck were you doing last night? What the heck? You looked like you were just La di da di da. La di da. I defended you up until the last game. Now your slump is beyond a slump. I can't defend you anymore. And, you know, I wasn't on the bandwagon when you came to Montreal. Yes, you were a power forward. I heard all the news. I didn't watch you as much. You looked good in a playoff against Tampa at one point. That's all that I seen that made you look good. After that, you can clearly see John Tortorella's message of how inconsistent you are. Anyway, we have the message loud and clear. I can't defend you when you don't put an effort in Vegas, or Vegas coming to Montreal. Sorry, last game. And this game was even worse than the Vegas one. You're just sliding right down. Okay, you can't score. That's one thing. But if a guy puts the effort out, got no problem with it. The goals will come. But your effort, you were pathetic. You don't know how to throw a check, so you might as well stop trying to do it. Because just you flying up the ice, bouncing off the boards, it's a comedy show. You look like a clown. Okay? And I like you as a person. I can't stand your game. Can't stand your game, your inconsistency. If you, I mean, unfortunately, I think you're too far in your career to change it. It shows. You got the perfect coach, but you don't want, you can't change your brand. You're a square trying to fit into a circle. It doesn't work. I don't care if we have to give you away and let's give the team 10 million on top of it to get rid of you. I mean, you just don't fit, brother. You're taking down your line mates. Every line you've been put on can't produce when you're on it because you're selfish. You're a one-trick pony. You skate up the ice. Everybody knows your move. You're going to blow by on the wing because of your speed and cut in. Then you don't know what to do. It's like, ooh, what do I do now? Come on, man. Come on, man. Work on your game. Martin St. Louis is the perfect guy to teach you if you'd open up your mind. Put it there. But you got to work to be a half decent player. Okay? So, to me, trade deadline comes. I don't care if we pay half of your contract for the next 2 seasons. Pay it, Hughes. He's got to go. He's killing the team. He's killing the lines. You can't put him anywhere that he doesn't kill the atmosphere. Sorry. Time to go. There's no sense of having a big donkey that just hits the boards and bounces off it. Time to bring in Bob Gainey, Larry Robinson, Guy Carbonneau. Let these guys teach the team how to actually throw a check, how to actually kill a penalty. Even with Carby, these guys even knew, you know, Carbonneau and Robinson knew how to even do the power play thing. Why was Carbonneau such a good coach when he came in? He turned that team, Montreal, boom, boom. Bob Gainey hired him as coach, and boom, boom, that team just rocketed. The only reason he was gone is because we follow the fans that whine in Montreal and directly in Montreal. You didn't realize when you had something good then. But anyway, those were winners. They know how to make this work. And Marty St. Louis, you're doing a great job, but you don't have the help. I wasn't on board when Stefan Robitaille was picked up as a defensive coach because I don't think he has experience as a coach, number one. Not a bad player when he played, I grant you that. That doesn't mean you can coach. And I think it's clear you can't communicate with his defense. I understand we're now at a stage where these young players have to learn a system now. And it's even harder for Jack Hice because he's not even used to that. But something's not right. Something's not right. And you know what it's called? They're not getting it. Communication is huge as a coach. So you're not ready. And the power play has just fallen off the friggin' cliff. Lord forgive me for that. It's fallen off the cliff with whatever you're doing. You're supposedly in charge of the penalty kill. It just looks nightmarish. Sorry. Every time I see a goal, I see Matheson and Barron. It's evident these guys can't work together. They're too much alike in their lapses. And Barron even worse because defensively, that's his weak part of his game. We always knew that. Matheson, I don't know. He just always seems to let a guy slip by. And he's weak defensively. Great offensive game. But it doesn't work. That pairing And I know there's not a whole lot of things you can try. I don't know what you're going to do because this is a lot of learning. But for a penalty kill, there's got to be better communication. So to me, we can get away with this while we're in a rebuild. And the same thing with Burrows for the power play. Man, I get a kick out of it. There's podcasts that get on there bragging. Oh, Montreal scored a goal on a power play. So, oh, it's all fixed. Well, if we have jumped up because we scored the odd goal on a power play in, the last 10 games, whatever you want to say, in thereabouts, and we jump from last place to 10th place, well, then that just tells me the whole league's got a problem with the power play. Okay? But did you notice how well a great team like Vegas and a great team like Boston always capitalizes on the power play? And they know how to kill a penalty. Why? One thing, we can knock Ducharme all we want. There's one thing I can say about Vegas. They knew his talents, being as long as he wasn't a head coach, systematically he knows how to throw some things together. I'm not a Ducharme fan whatsoever, but I can give him credit for that. He's not a head coach material. He's got a couple things over us in assistant coach material, though. I'll tell you that, because Alex Burrows can't run a power play. An odd goal doesn't mean your power play, or 2 goals in one game that makes up your power play. Man, you hear it on these podcasts, and we're like we won the Stanley Cup. But come on, man, wake up. Overall, count the games that we're producing and count the production. It's pathetic. And how many years has it been? Pathetic. Too long. So, if you want to continue down this road, you've got time to do it. That's great and dandy, but you better teach these guys a little bit of heart and soul, because Marty's the only guy, and Lisowski seems to be okay, that can be in the coaching mode. Marty needs assistance. He can't do it alone. Okay? You're going to have to bring in 2 guys that can communicate. You're going to have to bring in somebody who can actually run a power play. You're going to have to bring in an actual defensive specialist and a guy who can run a PK. Okay? We can get away with this now. But I hear the calls, oh, we've turned a corner. Come on, man. Anybody bragging that we've turned a corner? What corner have you turned? I don't know what corner you think this team has turned. But boy, oh boy, what I've seen, we turned a corner that we're sliding, and we are going to be in the bottom 5 teams. You mark my words. Write down the date that Center Hice said this. We will be in the bottom 5. Okay? This team is now feeling the pressure of, we have a one player that is a possibility for a first line, and he got injured. Kirby Dach. Now he needs work in the circle, so it's a battle between him and Suzuki for your first line center. But Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield are not first liners. Let's be straight up. They're our best players. Yes, they are. Are they first liners? No. Wake the heck up. What dreamland are you in? You watching too much Fantasy Island? The plane, boss, the plane. Come on, man. Wake up. No. These guys aren't first line players. In actuality, put them on a second line. Build that first line. Slavkovsky's got to go down to Laval to get more touches, because you've seen minimal touches. That guy can score, but he's got to get the rest of his game. Those legs got to keep moving. But he was the bright spot, and that's pretty damn sad. He was the bright spot last night, and I give the kid credit. He's got a shot. He just got to start doing that more often. But what a feed through up to Dvorak to set up Kasavich's goal. Beautiful. Thank God we look like, okay, we're not going to totally slaughter. But this game could have been 12-2. Jake Allen, I commend. He didn't play good in the early going. No, he did not. But what was in front of him? There was nobody. There was nobody. I look at 2 defensemen and Kisevich, 3. Okay, we'll say 3 defensemen that were, and they even had problems. But Gooley, by far, hands down, number 1 defenseman. And I'd say in the future, if Lane Hudson can make the NHL step, him and Gooley should be paired together, because they're definitely going to be a 1-2. No doubt in my mind. If Lane Hudson can make that step, I see that. It's hands down. It's not even close. Okay? But After that, you've got Harris, and you can knock Harris all you want. He's not flashy, but that man can skate, and he can get the puck out. He's smart. He's got an IQ, and that's where he's above Barron. That's where he's above. Matheson's a good player. Kid yourself not. But Matheson, I don't know what it is about the defensive game, or is it just the partners because he's overworking? But him and Barron just do not look good together. And it seems to be hard to pair somebody with Matheson. But maybe it's time that you just got to suck on the bullet and put the two best defensemen together, and that's Matheson and Gooley, and just let them play on the first line and take what's going to come. Because they are the two best defensemen. Hands down, it's not close in some talents there. And I think they both have the concept. Gooley can at least get back if Matheson takes off like he does, whereas Matheson's partners have been showing they can't get back. So with that being said, you got to fix that. But in the future, if this team it does turn a corner, hasn't done it yet. We're a little farther behind than you think. Okay, let's be realistic. That's the thing about this channel. We're real here. Okay? This team hasn't turned the corner yet. We made a boo-boo in one area. We still need one or two more draft years that we're picking high. Because, yes, you got yourself a good defenseman in Reinbacher. I still say we should have picked Michnikov. This was your chance for a talent that could produce. And man, with the amount of Smurfs we have, what would it have hurt? He would have been a slightly bigger Smurf. He might not be big, but you got enough Smurfs that he could easily have taken one of their positions. When you got a Pinard, Ylonin's not big. You got guys like that. Newhook's not big. You're telling me if one of those guys got pushed back because Michnikov is in the same category? Well, you end up trading one of these guys down the road because they're small, yes, but at least they can play in the NHL and you'll get something for them. But to pass up on the talent of Michkov, or whatever total correct pronunciation is, you now have to hope and pray this draft coming or the following one, you find the fix for passing up on Michkov, because you need what's his name? Oh boy! Oh, I was talking to somebody and I had his name down. There's three of them, three top drafts, and one of them's Dandonoff or whatever his name is. Young guy that's an up and coming. Eiserman's the other, and I can't. Soratini. One of those three we need, and wouldn't it be nice to get them both? Because remember, we have Calgary's first round pick too, and they're going to be low when it's all said and done. So we may get lucky to get two in the early going here. Yes, you got a good defenseman and you got your defense settled, but you shouldn't have passed up on Michkov. You shouldn't. We need a talent like that. And you better hope, because now your job is totally offense needs to be repaired. You can still work on your goaltending system on the side, for sure, but your offense needs to change. You need big wingers, and you need a guy that can score. You need one or two of them, matter of fact, because you need to build the first line. So you better be looking at those three. So I don't care. You're in a mode. You haven't turned the corner. Realize it and get one of those three minimum to fix your mistake of not taking Michkov, because it is a mistake. You could talk about the attitude. I've seen the way he's lighting up the KHL over there last week, and too big of a I don't care what you can work on attitudes while a kid's young and stuff like that. You can work on this. So bottom dollar, we shouldn't have passed up on him. Now we got to go find, and it better be your number one job of doing it. But for us to think we're more, this is a club that is bad. Remember, we have third and fourth liners. That's it. We're stacked with them. Thank God we got Monahan and Pearson and Gallagher, a few veterans there to weather the storm a little bit. But some of the line changes or the line swaps last night were just all over the map. I thought you were going to come out with, I wanted Monahan with Slav, and I seen it. Problem was, you put your loan in with them. I don't think that was the answer. Plus, it's only one game, and you're up against the whole team is not playing well. So you can't. I don't even think you can judge that on that alone. But what I'd like to see is the common sense move. Slavkovsky, what I've been saying, with Monahan, and you either got Caulfield or Newhook on his left wing. Guaranteed, if you leave that together, that second line's going to work. And vice versa, whoever the left winger is can be thrown onto the first line, whether it be Newhook or Caulfield being thrown back with Suzuki. And then you try Ilonen. Why will you not try Ilonen, who's got the skill set? The only problem he's got is beef, meat on him. He's got the hockey IQ and the soft hands to play with with Suzuki and Caulfield, if you're going to put that back together, because you ended up doing that as the game went on. There were so many juggles. Who knew what the lines were anymore? It was evident because you went back to Slav, Dvorak, um, and Caulfield at a moment there, or not Caulfield. Who was your left wing? I think you actually put Pearson there. You had so much juggling going on; it was incredible. I think the only thing that pretty much stayed together was Pizzetta and Evans, and on the right wing it was moving, it was rotating. Evans, commend. He has been kind of a blessing this year. He's back to continually when I thought he was done before the season. He's shown the opposite. He's been the spark plug the Habs have needed up front, and he'll be a good, solid person in that fourth line center role, and he's done a great job. Pizzetta, he was looking good until this game, and I'm thinking we seen why we missed Arbor Jackeye, that big man, and that attitude, because a team has got to respond when they're playing badly. Somebody's got to step up to bat and try to change the momentum. That's what we rely on Arbor for, evidently. But Pizzetta, you know how to fight, and I don't know, man. Last night was the perfect example of you needed to step up to bat and jolt something in. Your gloves should have been off last night. I seen you toying with you, and I think it was it McAvoy? Anyway, you were both tripping each other and stuff. Stop doing the tap dance and get to it and drop the gloves and try to change the momentum for your team. Because if Arbor's not there, somebody's got to step up, and we got to start showing that sign. So for me, you took a step backward in last night's game. You were starting to show positives in the last few games, but man, you got to step up to bat when it's time. You can fight. So with that being said, we got to change. And when we do turn the corner, this team needs to bring in a guy who can coach the defense and can coach the PK. And we need a guy that can come in and coach that power play, because Marty needs the help. Marty's doing a great job, but he needs veteran help, guys that are experienced behind him. And this will work out when the team is ready. You don't have to do it now. Let's keep losing. I'm totally on the tank team. I don't know why we didn't tank last year and get ourselves Bedard. That was stupid. Stupid. You seen what it cost us because you weren't bright enough to take Mitchkov. Yes, we got a good defenseman. Our defense should be solved for years to come. However, as much as I like the kid Reinbacher, I don't think he's going to match what Mitchkov's going to do in the league when he comes. And that was what we needed. So you better be looking at Sorrentini. You better be looking at Yzerman. And you better be looking at Danda, whatever his name is, from Russia. These are the three guys, and you better get at least one of them. And so help me God, you should be thinking about making some type of outrageous trade to get another first rounder, and maybe you do a package so you can get two of these guys. But this is what you're going to need to do, Mr. Hughes and Gordon, to fix skipping on Michkov. Okay? Because we are so lacking. We need a first line built. We got bright spots that show a second line. And Kirby Dach is definitely, and we're paying the price now. We were getting away with it early with the loss of Kirby, but that was a matter of time before this was going to catch up to us. His loss is crucial This team, we got eaten alive last night. And how Jake Allen kept that score at 5 is beyond me. Same thing with as Primo has no doubt a week upstairs, no glove, but he kept that game pretty close too. He did good in the first period in his game, and a part of the second, but his upstairs issues came to shine when Vegas clued in. But this was a poor example of honoring the Habs jersey, and that has to change. Yes, you're building a culture, but you're going to have to get rid of the squares that don't fit in. I don't care if you got to take a loss financially. Anderson does not belong anymore. He's taken down his line mates, and now that he's showing that he won't put the effort out, see ya. John Tortorella was 100% on the money with you, Josh. You are who you are. You are who you are. And I'd rather have a guy who's mid-sized that throws the body and is a team player and can fit on each line wherever he's put any day of the week than just a big guy who just wants to lay his around and is a one-trick pony. You can't have one-trick ponies. Not on a first and second line. They can't be one-trick wonders. Okay? And you are a one-trick wonder. And you're going to have your shoulders busted to heck. You keep bouncing off the boards because you don't know how to throw a check. And I will tell you that up and up. Okay? So maybe you should call Bob Gainey and get him to take you on the ice and teach you how to throw your weight around properly. And the other guy who's beautiful at that is Larry Robinson. Those two guys were the master of the body check and the hip check. So, that being said, thank you for joining me. Where's Puck Drop First here at Center Heights Productions. Remember that. Tell your friends and family. Pass on the word. Let's grow this community. But what a disaster last night is. But here at Center Heights, you're going to get the facts, the truth. I'm not going to put a feather in anybody's cap and blow up tires that don't need to be blown up. This team played pathetic last night. Pathetic. And our goaltenders are getting us through this season so far. They've been the storyline, to tell you the truth. All three of them, they've not played great, but boy, they've kept us in it. And we thank God for Pearson and Monahan. Great additions. But you're going to have to start puzzling these lines together and taking some risk. And there's no sense of not trying alone. And if you're willing to try Pinard on the first line, give me a break. Come on, Marty, you're too smart. You're too smart for that. But you have to realize, I realize a lot of pressure's on Marty. They got to get him eventually. Don't do it now because I want a tank. I want a good player. Stay bomb away for 2 seasons. Please just bomb away and keep sucking up. Just the only thing I say is show heart and respect for the jersey, so it's not totally disgraceful. But bomb away. We need 2 good players offensively. Okay, because that's all we need to work on, and an odd goaltender. Our defense is set, right? And I don't know. This is the other thing. I don't know why Struvel's not given a shot. But at least let's see what he's got up there. So with that being said, thank you for joining me at Center Heights Productions. Bring your friends and family. And thank you, Hice Maniacs, those who are supporting us. And we will catch you in the next game. And I'm at a point where I don't even know who we're playing next. I believe we're playing Wednesday. But I will give you a review of that game. Yeah, my review today was a little later. I usually do it in the nighttime, but I had my grandkids with me, and I'm not gonna torture their sleep for a video. So thank you for joining me, and God bless you. We shall catch you. Go Habs, go! But boy, things gotta change. But then again, let's get on a tank wagon. God bless.